Okay, welcome everyone. I imagine a few more folks will trickle in, but we'll just go ahead and get started. My name is Meg Pierce. I'm the Executive Director of the State League, and I am so excited to be hosting one of our fourth local league capacity building series. And this month's webinar will be focused on fundraising and how to do that effectively as a local league. We've had a lot of success with these webinars because they give us a chance not just to share best practices that we've learned at the state level, but also give us an opportunity to talk amongst each other about things that have worked at your league, things that you're struggling with. So we have these webinars to serve as a resource for you. So after this conversation, the fundraising assistance conversation door is not closed. We are here for you year round, not just these webinars. So with that, I'll introduce Betsy Murray. Betsy is the development chair of the state board and has a ton of really excellent nonprofit fundraising experience that I'm sure she'll go into. And Betsy has served on our board since June of last year and has already made such an impact with us at the state level. So I'm really excited for her to be here tonight and share her experience with all of you. So Betsy, go ahead and take it away.
Great. Thanks for that introduction, Meg. I'm Betsy Murray. As Meg said, I've been with the board since about June, but come with about 20 plus years of experience in nonprofit fundraising. I'm currently a nonprofit consultant with a firm based out of Philadelphia. I've been with them for about 8 years now. We work with clients all over the country to help them with their fundraising programs, strategic planning, capital campaign planning, all sorts of fun fundraising and development stuff. Prior to that, I was Director of Membership and Annual Giving at the National Constitution Center here in Philadelphia, where I'm based. So come with, a lot of experience in the membership background. I speak the language. I love membership. I get very geeky about it. So I'm really, really excited to be involved with the league, at this level, at the board level, and just be able to bring this background and experience and help the league across the state and across the local league. So I was really excited that Meg had asked me to have this webinar. And as she said, my contact information is in this presentation, but also online. Don't ever hesitate to email me if you have a question or want to bounce some ideas. I'm always happy to talk through anything with anyone. I do have a presentation put together. I'll kind of walk through it with just some best practices and some ideas about how you can think about maximizing membership and fundraising, understanding that your capacity is very specific, probably very limited, but that there are really opportunities for the local leagues to take fundraising and membership to the next level in, if it's baby steps or big steps, wherever your league is. We're here to really help you do that. Like I said, I'll walk you through the presentation, but I'd love for the conversation to be very organic. Please ask questions as we go through. Please raise your hand and say, I don't really understand what that means or how we could do that. I'd love for this to be a conversation more than me sort of just talking at you. Any questions? Should we go around very quickly and just have everyone say hello and where they're coming from this evening? I can do the romper room thing. Joan, if you want to kick off.
Sure. I am in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and my understanding is we're the second largest league in Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh is the largest, and I think we now have about 225 members.
Oh, great.
And I've been on their board, I think 3 years now. I've been a member of the Bucks County League for about 4 years. We are doing okay financially. I'm going to say we're doing okay, but membership completely really funds our kitty.
Yeah.
Our membership dues, which of course, some go to you, some go to state. We only keep about $18 of each membership for ourselves. And there's a concern that we've got to really reach out more to the community to try and find, the word that's being used is sponsorships, but my concern is that we're competing against a lot of other organizations and a lot of other foundations. I think that if we're going to do that, the guidance I would like is, how do you approach someone to go out, and how do you do the ask? Having a specific project, I feel is probably necessary to go out and ask people to sponsor, rather than just asking for donations. And part of that, I feel, is because we are a nonpartisan organization, and we have to be really careful about how we approach things when we're asking for donations.
Yep.
So that's kind of just the tip of the iceberg as to where I am as the chair of fundraising or here. And if you can kind of direct me in how you handle that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's something we're certainly going to touch upon through the conversation, and can circle back if you feel like you didn't get any guidance or have those questions answered. We can dive in a little bit deeper in that. But yeah, thinking about how to build those relationships. And that's something we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the importance of membership, but also building those relationships, because, you know, so much of fundraising is, you know, a direct ask and a direct, you know, get. But then another huge piece is that time that it takes to build those relationships and, you know, build towards, you know, an ask, or build towards getting something back. So there's very direct fundraising, you know, one-to-one, we need your support. Here's your support, to, you know, building a relationship and building awareness, so that down the line there's opportunities for funding and sponsorships and the like. It's not walking in the door and saying, you know, this is who we are, can you help us? It's really building that awareness and building that understanding of who you are and what you do. Great. And I like that you're coming at this, and for folks who are about to introduce themselves too, if you want to sort of say, you know, if there's a particular reason or interest or something, you know, why you're here tonight for this specific program, maybe it's to hear everything, maybe it's very specific about something that your local league is doing or thinking about, that's great too. I'd love to hear that. So how about Michelle, if you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm actually originally from Bucks County, but I'm a student at Bryn Mawr College, and I've been working with Lower Merion and Narberth. So I know we've been, you know, like Jamie, our president's been thinking about doing more fundraising, and sort of looking into that. So she asked me to come and just listen and bring back lots of information. So we're excited to hear it all.
Great. Great. Okay. Hi, Jamie.
That's actually Adrian. Looks like.
Oh, wait, say that again. Oh.
I noticed Jamie sent Adrian and I the same link that she must have signed up for. So I also came in as Jamie accidentally. We just share links.
Oh, I'm in as Jamie. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
All right. Hi, Adrian Seltzer. I'm like on the Veteran Services Committee, but I get sent to everything, kind of like Michelle. But the things that Joan said are things that we're wondering. It's not inexpensive to join the league. It's $70. And that, I think, I mean, in Lower Merion Narberth, you think naturally that shouldn't be a big ask, but ways to, you know, is there a proven line to use in the ask that gets the best response, so we know that we can use it.
Yep.
And of that $70, only getting 18 does make it really, really difficult to fund a league.
Yeah.
And I know I've been applying for grants, and you know, we wanted one for voter services, but it's only $500. So, you know, the grants aren't a whole bunch. So trying to get sponsors, we've kind of reached out to the membership, but there hasn't been, maybe we haven't tried hard enough, because our league is kind of in transition. And you know, we're still trying to find people who want to do some work.
Yeah.
And there's actual Jamie Mogul.
Well, I know we're definitely going to talk about messaging around membership and how to engage people with the membership offer and ask and reach people with compelling messaging. And I know, in our notes, and maybe Meg, this is a good time to talk about that, some of these issues that you're bringing up, both you and Joan and Michelle, that, this is on the National League's radar as well. Membership pricing, the membership distribution of dues, all that. So, I don't know the details, and I think they're still sort of in that strategic planning phase. But Meg, correct me if I'm wrong, these areas and these issues have been prioritized at the national level as rethinking sort of the membership model and how the state and the local leagues are funded to really maximize, the grassroots network and maximize the opportunities to make sure the local leagues are equipped to do what they need to do to really keep that grassroots model thriving and healthy. Meg, is that fair to say? Is there anything I missed sort of in that? I just want everyone to know it's on the radar beyond this conversation.
Yeah, so I think two of the points that we've identified as a state, as well as national has identified the same thing, is that, the membership model has a lot of administrative burden attached to it. That we could potentially rethink, billing for PMP, the complexity of how much goes to state, how much goes to nationals. That's one part. The other part is, how many local leagues don't have 501c3 status, which can, be a burden when it comes to applying for grants or receiving tax exemption purposes. So national is also thinking about how we work with that and how we manage that. And that's something that's going to be discussed at the Nationals convention in June. So if any of you are interested in going to that and kind of hearing more about that firsthand, I definitely suggest that you do. There's a virtual option to participate this year, so you don't necessarily have to go to Denver, but the State League will definitely be there and we'll be able to report back on what's decided from those conversations.
Great. Susan, hi.
Hi. Hi, I'm Sue Floyd and I'm from Center County. I'm the treasurer. And like Joan, almost all of our funding comes from the membership dues. And we're just looking for ways to, come up with new ideas to try to do some fundraising and, get some additional funds.
Great. Pam?
Hello.
Hi.
I'm from the Clarion County League. I've been on the board, I don't know, 4 years maybe. I'm currently the president and just trying to, get a grip on everything. So with respect to dues, we have a sliding dues scale. I don't know if other leagues do that or not. And I've never been the treasurer, so I'm not sure like how that plays out, like how many people pay at the lower level, which I think $40 unless you're a student, and then it's free. I think the upper end is 80. So yeah, like I said, I don't know how many pay at every point along that scale. Years ago, I was not on the board then. We actually had a fundraiser that was a raffle. I don't know if we had a small games of chance license or not, but anyway, a local artist makes beautiful woodcut prints, or well, they might not be woodcuts, there's some kind of prints, I'm not sure which technique she uses, that feature local places. And so every year she would make one for us.
Oh, nice.
We raffled them. We actually have a few of those, maybe 5 or 6 of those that we're trying to figure out what to do with, because one of the members who bought them has passed away and she left them to us.
Oh.
So, we're trying to figure out, okay, do we sell them? Do we raffle them? But I mean, that's just a minor issue. I'm mainly here to get ideas from, what people are doing and see if there's any good things that I can bring back to the Clarion League.
Great. All right. Hi, Rebecca.
Yeah, hi. So I'm Becky Wise. I'm in Westmoreland County. We're a newly formed MAL unit. So we were recognized last fall. There had been a league in our county, but that disbanded about 10 years ago. So we're trying to establish ourselves in the county to be recognized for the good work that the league does. We have a pretty lean budget. We're delighted to have it. And you know, a $500 grant from the pass-through, that's a big deal for us. So so that's huge. So I'm just interested in hearing what other people are doing for fundraising, what you're doing and who you're reaching out to develop partnerships with.
Yeah, great. Okay, and Jamie, the Jamie.
You guys hear me? I'm in the car.
We can hear you. Yep.
Okay, hi. Yes, I'm Jamie. I shared out our league logins. That's why you see lots of others. I'm glad Michelle and Adrian are on. I don't know who else is joining. I'm president of the League of Lower Merion and Narberth. I was on the state board as well. I think Adrian or Michelle might have already spoken about, and I think Meg knows this, that, you know, we work hard, but we don't really make, you know what, from dues. You know, we don't rely on dues at all. That's, you know, and we're glad to help. And we promote the fact that when you join, you get to be a state and national league member as well. But at the end of the day, we're not enjoying the benefits like, you know, bulk printing costs or postage discounts or the things that we really need to do that are the foundation of our league, you know, and $500, you know, I'm so glad is helping Westmoreland, but for us, you know, that doesn't even cover printing of our legislative reference guide. So there's just a lot more that we'd like to do and can apply for grants that we'd like. So yeah, we're looking to expand and donate. We did get a link from National so that I wanted a QR code to go right to our ed fund, but they don't provide that, but they do have a form you can fill out. So if those who are listening, you know, we can get people to sign up and donate, you know, for C4 purposes, but I never had anything that we could use for C4, or C3, which is really what we need, you know, the ed fund. So there is a form that National gives. So it's like a Google form, but at least people can put in their credit card info. So that's where I'm at.
Great. And I think, Meg, and actually that's a good segue into starting this presentation talking about, oh, go ahead, Adrian.
Yeah, and I want to add, the more stuff we do, the more valuable we are, and that makes it a better selling point. So it's like we don't have money for the inventory to be able to sell ourselves.
Yeah. Just on the point of,
Betsy, really quick.
oh, sure.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
So, you know, I hear everyone's feedback about how our voter services grants were only $500. I hear you. I understand how valuable the work is and how expensive printing costs are. It's not that we don't value the programming and the work that you're doing, but just keep in mind that this is the first time the state league has ever done pass-through grants for local leagues. And that was fundraising that we had to do on our own. And then we had to get approval to be able to pass it around to our entities. So, you know, we're taking learnings from both that program and our Building Equity as Local grant program this year. And hopefully we'll be able to fundraise and be able to offer larger grants next year. But I do want everyone to be patient with us as we work through this stuff. It is a ton of work on our end to distribute these grants, and we're really just doing the best that we can. And we know how valuable they are to your league. So just know that we hear you. We definitely hear you.
Yes. Okay, great. And I'm actually going to share my screen here and start this presentation, which one of our first slides is talking about C3 versus C4. And just to note that there is a presentation, one of these sessions coming up, I'm not sure of when, but coming up in the future about applying for C3 status. So that is going to be one of the capacity building workshops here in the future to give some guidance on the process for that and how to walk through and build that process. Let me just move this along. Okay, so talking about the difference between a C3 and a C4, you know, this chart here kind of lays out some of the big differences between those two designations for an organization. You know, the biggest difference that you'll see as a local league or an organizational C is what has been brought up already. The challenges with applying for grant funding, and then the tax exemption status. I will tell you that the tax exemption status, the tax deductibility over the last couple years as tax laws have changed, it's kind of diminished that appeal of being a tax deductible organization for most general everyday donors. If you've already done your taxes this year, you may have noticed that, you know, your giving doesn't quite hit that threshold. If you've been giving the same to, you know, your different charities over time, you know, there's a higher level, there's a higher threshold for giving to get a tax deduction to charitable donations. If you're giving lots and lots and lots of money to charitable donations, it is going to benefit you. But for the general donor who gives, you know, $50 here, $100 there to a couple organizations that they support, it doesn't carry the weight that it used to carry. With that said, you know, if you are a tax exempt organization, you should still promote that and still talk about that. But just, I wouldn't get hung up on that sort of being a deterrent to people giving. With that said, you want people to give to you because they care about your work and your mission and they want to support it, not because they're going to get the tax deductibility, the tax exemption. It's a great added bonus, but it's not, you know, it's not really a driving motivation that we really lean into in terms of promotion. The other thing I want to call out, you know, when you look at these differences between a 501c3 and a C4, that while that C4 status allows for advocacy and partisan lobbying and endorsement, you know, specific endorsement of candidates, you know, these activities really don't align with the league's nonpartisan stance and mission. So even though you're in that space you may be in that space as a C4, it's critical to just align with and be held to the principles and the mission of the league as a nonpartisan organization. So I heard a few people bring up, you know, membership and the value of membership, and that, you know, based on the designations of how much, you know, the national, state, and local leagues get, you know, and being able to really rely, you know, some leagues really rely on membership for their funding. Some leagues say it's not quite enough. I want to make the case and really press home that membership really matters. It matters to the funding aspect. It matters to the philosophical aspect of the work we do. You know, membership really is at the strength. It's really the strength of everything that the league does at every level of the organization. It is particularly at the local level, at the local leagues, it is the heart and soul of the organization as a grassroots organization. So financially, you know, it provides engaged supporters who are going to help advance your mission through financial support, participation, engagement, volunteer service. It's also going to provide long-term support, because once you acquire a member, the hope is that you retain that member so they continue to renew their support. It is harder to acquire a member than it is to renew a member, to keep them retaining their support. And I understand it can be daunting to think about how you acquire members and the investment it takes to acquire members. You know, the investment in promotions, the investment in, if you do printed materials or, you know, campaign materials to really do a membership drive. But it's really important to think about building and growing membership to be a sustainable local league and a sustainable organization. Just some other points about, you know, and sort of the indirect value of membership, shifting away from just the direct support. They're an important constituency for support and advocacy at the local, state, and national levels. We talked about them being the heart of the grassroots model. They help grow, you know, your members help grow awareness about what the league does, the impact of the league. They talk to their networks. They spread the value and the impact of the league through word of mouth. So just really important to think about how to build that network and connect to more members and to new members and to grow support through the current members that you have and growing the membership base. As we think about the league becoming and thinking about being a more diverse and aware organization, about reaching new and diverse audiences, Membership is the gateway to that. It's really an opportunity to reach people who may not have traditionally or historically been involved with the League of Women Voters or with organizations that do the work that we do, and really reaching them and engaging them with our work and mission and working to bring them into the community and into the fold. And then identifying potential donors for additional philanthropic support, thinking about identifying, or engaging people maybe at a lower, coming in at an entry level membership who may be potential donors for bigger gifts or major gifts or, planned gifts down the line, thinking about, having the structure for that. But it really can and does start with engaging people at the membership level and getting them involved with what the League does on a day-to-day basis and the impact on the mission. Any thoughts, questions? I'm going to talk a little bit more about membership because, like I said at the beginning, I am a membership guru. I'm a big believer in it. It really is the heart and soul of what the League does at every level of the organization. So I know everyone sort of wants to think about, hey, how do we take this to the next level? We don't get a lot from membership. It's not worth investing there. But I want to make the case that as you grow membership, it is going to be worth investing there, both for financial impact on your local league and then support for what you're trying to do and what you're trying to build as a local league. So thinking about the steps to growing and sustaining membership, and breaking this down into sort of 4 key steps, the process to join. Is it accessible? Is it easy? Can you join online? Can you join on site? If you're attending a community event or, have a table at some sort of, activity or outdoor, can people join right then and there with their credit card? The messaging, and I know some people brought this up in terms of what's the right messaging for membership, and we're going to dig into that a little bit more. But talking to people about what the benefits of membership are, what their impact will be when they join as a member, making sure the messaging is welcoming and inclusive, making sure it's member-centric. So it's more about them, what they're going to get out of it, what they're going to do as a member, and less about what the League does and why they should support the League and what we do that's so great. We'll talk about that a little bit more. All membership messaging should have a very clear and direct call to action. Make your case for why membership is important, and then, join today, join now, join here, giving people a very clear and direct channel to join and to make that conversion, that transition to membership. And then that just links back to that easy process. That's really the foundation of building and growing membership, is making sure that the transaction can be easy and seamless for the most part. And I know that's one of the biggest challenges for many of the local leagues, because there is a technology element to that and really a sort of a skill set and experience in building out that technology and building out that platform. And we'll talk about that a little bit. Once you've got your process in place, once you've got your messaging sort of laid out, your platform for communication, then you want to think about promoting it. Making sure that membership is visible on your website, making sure that you're talking about it in your social media channels. If you're at events and, in-person things, making sure you've got handouts that talk about membership. Making sure you have a presence at community events, not missing those opportunities for the League to be there to say, hey, we're here, we're in this community, this is what we do, join us, be a part of this. We want you to be a part of this. And then special events that your local league has. So just making sure that, membership is part of that conversation, even if it's thanking your members, if you're hosting a special program or a special event, just taking an opportunity to promote membership and say, hey, we've got, X number, our members are here tonight. If you're not currently a member, we'd love for you to join us, see the person in the back of the room or visit our website. Just making sure that membership is really part of everything that you do in the conversation, in both thanking your members and then encouraging and promoting membership. The last piece, and last but absolutely not least, is continued engagement, because that's where you risk losing someone if you have acquired them as a member. If you don't keep if you don't keep a member engaged, if you don't make them feel like they are part of the organization, that they're a valued part of the organization, that there's a place for them, or that they are really making an impact with their support, they're not going to renew their support. So really thinking about little ways and big ways to keep your members engaged, regular communication, sharing news, important stories, sharing information about events. I'm sure most of you do a regular newsletter, e-newsletter that goes out to your members. If not, making sure you've got some sort of consistent communication stream that's engaging your members and keeping them engaged. Keeping your social media channel up to date. A lot of times if someone's exploring, what's the League of Women Voters doing? What are they doing in my community? They're going to look at things like your website. They're going to look at your social media channels. If those channels haven't been updated in months and months and months, that's going to tell a story. That's going to tell people, oh, maybe they're not that active, or maybe they're not. So really thinking about keeping your promotional channels active. And that could be posting once a week. It could be posting, once a day, if that's your capacity. That's a lot, but keeping that channel active and up to date so that people see that's who you are and what you're doing. Hosting, league meetings, hosting league events, special programs, that's sort of probably already built in. Just making sure that members are aware of what's happening, they're invited to everything, and that they're asked to participate and volunteer. I'm sure that's happening, but just, doing a check to make sure that, members are part of everything. It's not sort of just the same group of people that always do everything because they always do everything, but making sure it's shared with everybody who's part of your league. And then this last piece, thanking members, just, taking opportunities, like I said, at events to acknowledge members, acknowledge their support, acknowledge that they really are the heart of the league. Maybe an email goes out every quarter that's just a thank you to your members. It's not a news email. It's not a here's what's coming up email. It's just a pure thank you email that goes out to your members and thanking them for their support. That's going to help people feel valued. That's going to help members feel like they're part of something and that they're an important part of something, and that they're going to want to retain their support and stay part of the league. Any questions? Like I said, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into some of these areas. This is sort of just an overview, but anything questions or anything sticks out or? Okay, let's talk about messaging. And so the crux of membership messaging, and this is for any sort of membership model program, when you're asking someone to join, to belong to something, there's this element of positioning around what's in it for me. And now this seems counter to everything the league stands for. It sounds very greedy. It sounds very grabby. It sounds very like, what do I get? And it doesn't have to be, this is not about things. This is not about tangible benefits or, premiums. What's in it for me can be about values, and it can be about impact and outcomes. And that's what I really encourage you to think about in your membership messaging, telling people that the benefit of their support is going to be real impact in the issues and the areas that they care about. If they're looking to the League of Women Voters to see what we do and who we are and what we stand for, they care about those issues. They care about what we do. And so telling them that as a member, they are going to advance that mission. They are going to have impact on those issues that they care about. They are going to help solve problems that they want to help fix. Those are all benefits. They're not tangible things like free admission or, discounts here and there. It's benefits that are more in line with their values and what they're looking to support. Think about membership messaging that's, relevant and timely. And we'll talk about this a little bit. Think about, if you're thinking of membership drives, maybe it's around, an election season when you can really talk about the work that the league's doing in this area, or that your local league, if there's something specific to your local league about the work that you're doing and the impact that you're having, promote membership at that point. Anytime you put something on social media that says, here's what we did today, help support, you can be a part of this too by becoming a member, join here, and directing people to join. So just really thinking about how to weave that membership ask into almost every communication that you do when you're talking about the work that your league does and the impact that your league is having. It's very easy just to throw a line in there that says, you can be a part of this, you can help advance this work, you can make a difference, join here today. Those are sort of quick and easy ways to get membership promotions into what's already part of your communications and the work that you're doing. I want to take a moment here because membership messaging is important. Any thoughts, any feedback? Has anybody tried any messaging that hasn't worked? Have they tried any messaging that has worked, that they've seen has gained a little traction?
Betsy, I just like to underscore one of the things you said about using timely things that happen in the news or to really push membership and to push donations. So when there was a big, redistricting update and we sent an email to all of our members with that helpful information, we also made the point at the end of every email that, this work was possible through the generosity of donors. Donate here to support democracy, keep this work going. And we always see at least a couple of gifts with emails like that. It's super, super effective.
Yeah.
And just an easy one line that you can put at the end of everything, or even make a cute little graphic at the bottom of your newsletter. Just have it on everything you have.
Yep.
Give the people an easy option to donate whenever you communicate with them.
That's a very good point, Meg. We call that a soft ask in the fundraising world. And sometimes a soft ask can just be a button, just a join now button or a donate button, that if you've engaged people with some great information or something that's really feel good about the work that's been done or some sort of impact, having a channel for them to take that good feeling toward whether it's a donation or joining, it's a really important piece to communications. That's a good thing to bring up, Meg.
And I've gotten really good at creating those buttons because I've been doing them for the state league. So if you ever need help with anything on the tech side, I'm more than happy to assist with, little stuff like that.
Yeah. Any other thoughts from the local leagues about membership messaging? I'll just add here, when thinking about membership messaging, imagery is really important. It's really evocative. It, stirs emotions in people. It shows people doing things. It shows you want potential members to see themselves in the imagery, saying, oh, I want to do that. I want to, go help sign people up to vote, or I want to go to Harrisburg and, protest or, support an advocacy push. So really leveraging images, and the more local and homegrown, for the local leagues, the more local and homegrown you can have it and make it, the better. People want to see people they know. People want to see themselves in their community. They want to see you in the community, the league in the community. So, really leaning into, and particularly in social media, using imagery to really convey that impact and, being part of the community and being part of the work that the league does. Okay, so back to this idea of an online membership process and promotion, because I assume that this is probably one of the biggest hurdles for local leagues that don't have an online platform or process to convert people to members. So, you go to the website and it says, you have to mail in a check or call someone. That's a big hurdle. But I recognize that that's also a big hurdle for local leagues to overcome because it involves and requires some technical expertise. I put a couple examples in here of, the ways that some of the different local leagues around the state are promoting membership. There are ways to set things up online through user-friendly online platforms like PayPal. I see that a few of our local leagues are using PayPal. Action Network is also a fairly cost-effective online platform that's user-friendly. I know that's what the state league is using, and we just shifted into that, just transitioned into that. So Sam could be a big help in helping to, work through that and think about how to set that up. think about soliciting tech savvy volunteers. High school and college students they know how to do this stuff. I mean, my kids are 16 and 13, and I feel like they could, run a business, set up an online business and run it. This stuff comes a little bit easier to them. So if you have, a student who's engaged with the league or interested, this is a great way to get them to volunteer some time and expertise to helping set something like this up. This is also an area to consider soliciting in-kind support from local designers, local marketing, or tech support businesses. And this would be a direct ask. This would be something, making the case for, this is the work we do, this is the impact that we have, this is how many members in the community we have, and how, where we're involved and where we're engaged. Help us grow, help us promote that so that we can have an even greater impact in the community. Offer to put, sponsorship recognition on the website. This website brought to you by XYZ, thanks to in-kind support, just making sure that recognition is part of that ask. But we can look at just a few. Let's see, this is Center County, which I think I forget who, but someone's on the call from Center County.
Yes, I'm here.
Fantastic. And so this, very clear, go to the join site or the join page. The information is here. There's a online way to do it. You can join online as a member, fill out the information. So it's great. It's it's accessible. Taking a look, that's already Center County. Let's take a look at, it's all Center County. Here we go. I think this is the Philly League. Very clear. And what I like about this one is there's a join and there's a donate button. So, if you're a member, or if you're not a member yet and you're interested in becoming a member, you come to the website, follow the directions, the call to action. This one, I'm going to assume, because of the button, is a PayPal platform. And just clear messaging about what the value of becoming a member is, what the league does, what the benefits are. And you see here, these benefits are those value-driven benefits, directly supporting programming and initiatives. You do get invitations to policy committee meetings, a vote in appointing leadership and set. So these are, sort of those benefits of being a member of the league overall, which is great, putting those forth as what you do get as part of this community. And then I like this last one, working alongside a group of passionate activists to help defend democracy. And then if you were already a member or you weren't interested in membership, but you wanted to make a donation, again, it's a very clear and accessible process to make that donation and to make that gift. All right, let me see. I think we had some other ones that I just want to take a quick look at. Harrisburg also has online. So, they all look a little different, but the process and the communication points are there. Join online. Here's the fill-in information. I'm going to guess that this is also PayPal, but there's also the option, and I think this is important too, if you do want to mail this in, or if you do want to email someone or call someone, that information is there as well for anyone who might just want to get more information or figure out another way that they can do it if they don't want to join online. Okay. Any questions, thoughts? For those on the call, who does have an online platform for joining online, who doesn't? Maybe it's easier to go that way. Who at this time, their local league does not have a way to join online, or is everybody online here?
This is Pam from Clarion. We do not have a way.
Okay.
Now, isn't there like some expense involved with having the ability to process credit cards and that sort of thing?
Generally, yes. There is, sorry, give me 1 minute.
I can step in. There is, oftentimes nonprofits will, go ahead, Sam. I was gonna say, sometimes you can have like a little click box to say, please, you can pass that through to the donor or the member and ask them to cover that cost.
Yep, and generally, so I covered this last month. So if you have any questions about website and e-commerce in general, you can feel free to send me an email, but generally the website builder itself will also be a little more expensive if it's got that, e-commerce, any sort of online transaction program. But I do have suggestions for some that are pretty reasonably priced, under 10 a month to have that sort of e-commerce option. So, if you have any questions about it, you can send me an email. I'll put it in the chat, and then we can talk about what might be the best way to get that set up for you.
I just want to say, thinking about, members and donors. So, people who give above, and if you have members who are also donors that give above and beyond their membership dues, something like this is a great engagement opportunity for potential donors, to be able to say that your support, your gift is going to help us grow. So actually help us expand revenue, expand engagement, expand, our membership base with your investment or your donation to support, an online platform or support, some sort of membership campaign. That can be very compelling to a donor because, if they know that their gift is going to grow exponentially in, growing membership and growing additional support for an organization and a mission that they care about, that can be compelling. So I encourage you to think about that. If you have members that might be open to thinking about making a donation or investing with their donation in something like this to help the league really build capacity, it's worth considering and ask directly for that kind of support. Okay. Anything else in online membership process and promotion? I think for those that don't currently have this, as you think about what the next steps are here, this is certainly something that if you reach out, like Sam said, reach out to at the state level, this is something we can really help kind of walk through and provide some ideas and thoughts about how to get there. Because it is important. It's just really important, especially as we look to, engage the next generation of league members. This is going to be a primary channel for giving and for engagement. Okay, thinking about growing support. So this is really looking at the four kind of key buckets or areas of growing support for your league. And like I talked about earlier, some of these are, direct financial support, direct financial gifts, membership, individuals joining as members, individuals making direct donations, having fundraising events where people pay for a ticketed event or pay for a raffle ticket. And then some of these are more indirect, where you're going to be focused on building awareness, growing your network, engaging people and building those relationships that the hope is pay off in the long run, whether that's through sponsorships or increased membership or, increased partnerships and community impact. So, looking at individuals, I think we really kind of talk through the biggest way to engage individuals through membership, but also thinking about, volunteer opportunities with your members or prospects. When I talk about prospects, it's someone who's not a member yet, but may still want to be involved with the league. Are there volunteer opportunities for them that, can engage them with the work that we're doing and then ultimately convert them into becoming a member or, making their support through a donation or some other means. Advocacy engagement, really thinking about how to engage members, prospects, donors with advocacy opportunities, both at the local level and at the state level. Networking and fundraising, really leaning into your current membership base to help promote membership. Having a fundraising event where members are invited to bring one person who is, new to the league or unfamiliar with the league, and just having a very social, get to know us kind of event. Fundraising events, some of you, have probably done those. You're talking about the raffle, thinking about ways to really engage people with some sort of, whether it's an event or, a raffle opportunity or an auction or something along those lines. And then direct fundraising appeals, which we'll talk a little bit about. Those are direct appeals to your members, to your donors, to your supporters and friends. That is just a direct ask for financial support for folks to make a gift above and beyond their membership if they're members, or make a gift to support the local league if they're not members. If they're a friend of the league or have some sort of connection with the league, if they're a social media follower of your page, just encouraging them to make a gift in support of the work that you're doing. Community partners, this is one of those sort of indirect areas. This is about building awareness. This is about expanding your network. This is about increasing your impact in the community, partnering with other community organizations that are, aligned with the work that we're doing and in efforts to engage the community. Whether you co-host programs or events, think about joining forces for local advocacy where it makes sense. And then promotional opportunities, can you attend, can the league have a voice at, one of your partner events, and vice versa, that, you invite one of those community partners to come speak to the league and just talk about the work that they do, and just really think about how to share and grow your networks if the missions align and the work aligns. Local businesses. So I know this came up in the questions, how to solicit in-kind donations, how to solicit event and program sponsorship. This is an area that's really about relationship building. You're not really going to get much return on a cold call or a cold, outreach. So, maybe it starts with a letter of introduction, an ask to have coffee, an ask to meet, to tell them more about what the league does, how they might be able to support the league, making a real personal outreach, making the effort a real personal outreach, and building that relationship over time. That may then turn into, or give you the opportunity to say, hey, it's been great getting to know you and you getting to know the league. We've got this event coming up in the fall. We'd love to, have you join us, partner with us in hosting this event or sponsoring this event, whether it's in-kind donations, whether it's, straight financial gifts to help rent space, or whatever else it takes to get the program together. But it really does start with initially building those relationships. So maybe identifying some of the local businesses that you feel might be a good fit for the league, and partnering with the league, and then really starting to reach out and build that relationship, so that when the time does come for an ask or for some sort of support, you've got that relationship already, that you don't have to start from scratch. I put in here community foundations. This could be foundations, but I think, because of the challenges with grant funding, as most of the local leagues are C4s, I wanted to just to promote community foundations. These community foundations really serve to bring the community together and give people opportunities to network for the greater good, for the impact of the community. A lot of them offer training and programming. I just really encourage you to look into your community foundations, see what they're offering in terms of training, programming, networking. And then if there's an opportunity to start building personal relationships there, that's going to help increase the impact of your league. Again, it's not going to necessarily be a direct financial support, but it's part of building that brand awareness, and building awareness of what you do and expanding the network. I want to be mindful of our time. We have about 5 minutes, and I really want to give people a chance to jump in, provide any feedback or thoughts. What do you want to hear from me in sort of these last few minutes? I want to be mindful of everyone's time. Any questions that you came to the meeting with that haven't really been addressed or answered, or you feel even more lost at this point?
Betsy, this is Joan. And I think we're to the point with our league in Bucks County of needing to reach out to local businesses. But do you already have, is it best if you already have a relationship with that business? I mean, it's hard to cold call on somebody and talk about what the league is,
Yeah, I think you just approach it as that, a getting to know you. Say, we do want to tell you about what we're doing, so that, make it very clear that initial sort of conversation and building that relationship isn't about an immediate ask. because I think they're going to appreciate more sort of that first contact that's, we just want to tell you about who we are, what we do. We hope in the future that there may be some opportunities for us to work together or partner together. But in this moment, we really just want to connect and, make that connection. And you know us, you know who to call, and we know who to call here.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to keep kind of going through quickly, but please raise your hand or holler out if you have any questions. Fundraising appeals. I encourage you to think about doing this. Soliciting individuals for a direct donation or a direct gift. Soliciting your current members, your lapsed members, friends of the league, prospects. These are people who have signed up for or come to events or programs but aren't members yet. Your social media followers, people who come to your website just to get information. Thinking about ways to, can you capture their email address with, if you'd like more information or if you'd like to receive our newsletter. And as you start to gather email addresses, those become prospects for converting to membership and promoting membership too. You can do an appeal for a very specific need or initiative, or you can ask for general support. Just general league operations and work that you do. Recommend that it be multi-channel. If you can afford to get a letter out there, really thinking about making that, and maybe it's just targeting, some members that are most likely to give, but getting out there on, email, social media, your website, really using all channels that you can to promote membership. Making sure the messaging is very donor centric. It needs to be more about the donor's impact, less about the league. So more you language, less we language, less us language. And I've put a couple resources here that I encourage you to explore that, will help you think about how to craft some of that appeal messaging that's donor centric and kind of hits upon best practices and fundraising appeals. Back to this idea of timely and relevant. Using opportunities, when the issues and the work that we deal with in the league is in the news and is on people's mind or is hot, really using that opportunity to promote giving and, say, hey, this is exactly what we do. This is, we're educating voters, we're engaging voters. If you want to be part of that, if you want to help support that, here's how you can give and here's where you can give. I want to very quickly say something about Giving Tuesday, which is a great opportunity to kind of get in that space. It's a very crowded space. So I don't want you to be discouraged if, you get a Giving Tuesday post up on social media and you don't see a lot of traction. It can take time to build. But it's important that you be there. It's a day of giving. It's a high profile day of giving. Give your supporters that opportunity to support you if that's where they want to give that day. But just know that it is a very, very competitive day. And think about other opportunities. Is there an anniversary day of when your league was established that you can start to sort of build some momentum around a fundraising campaign there? Also, I want to say something very quickly about Facebook fundraising. It's a good and bad. Facebook fundraising or social media fundraising is a great way to build awareness. It gets your message out there. It gets, people share that information, people, spread that around. It's not a great model for building a sustainable fundraising program because you will not get information about who donated. You'll get the money, you'll get the, $500 in donations, but you won't get any information about who those donors are for you to then reach out and engage or see if they're members or see who they are or have some sort of awareness of who actually gave. So that's the downside of Facebook fundraising. I don't completely discourage it because, like I said, it's great at building awareness. It engages people, it gets people interested, it can direct people to your website. But if you are going to do social media fundraising, I just recommend that you do it purely in your own space and direct people to your website rather than having them do it through the Facebook platform. Last point, genuine, authentic. Just, in your voice and in your appeals, be who you are. People really respond to authenticity and, a genuine appeal, and be very clear about what the support is for, what the donor support will do. Your gift will do this. You will help us do this. This will be your impact. Donors want to know exactly what their gift is going towards and what it's going to do. I think I talked about most of these. I will just emphasize that really, if you have only time and energy and resources to devote to one thing, I really encourage you to get that membership process in order. It's a classic model. It's what people, will look to if they're interested in the league. They'll say, oh, I could become a league member, or do they have membership? So really thinking about making that process accessible and open to people is really important. These other pieces you can kind of weave in or think about for your program, but if there's any investment in time and resources to be made, I strongly recommend getting the membership foundation in order. Okay, I just want to, here's my information. You can always reach out to me. And then I just want to give an opportunity for anyone that can stay on the line. Again, I'm sorry that this has gone over. If anyone has questions or wants to share ideas and experiences, I'm sorry we didn't get to have much time here. But like I said, I'm willing to stay on for anybody that has questions or wants to get some feedback or share some ideas. And you can always reach out to me at any time as well.
Thank you so much, Betsy. This was wonderful. And, again, I feel like we've just scratched the surface on so much of this. So this is not the last you'll see of Betsy, whether you want to stay on or just reach out to her. She's here as a resource for you, as are we as a staff. I'm going to jump off and stop the recording. But again, if anyone else wants to stay on, please do. And again, Betsy, thank you so much for your time. This has been really, really great.
Thank
Yes.
you, Betsy.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. I really appreciate it. Sorry to kind of roll us through that. I hope